Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a very, very, very special guest with us, bench coach for the Great Lakes Loons. I don't even like saying that because you're the AA manager of the Corpus Christi Hooks, and your resume, Dickie Joe Thon's who we have in the show. Your resume speaks for itself, but man, Dickie Joe Thon, thank you so much for joining. I'm super excited.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. It's great content you've been shooting out, and good for the guys.
I got to ask you before we get into the exciting Great Lakes Loons team this year. You're the AA manager at Corpus Christi. The Houston Astros obviously are an organization that's a big rivalry to the Dodgers. But how do you go from being the manager there to the bench coach, a AA manager with Corpus Christi, to the bench coach at Great Lakes, a high level with the Dodgers?
Look, I spent some good times with Houston, but it was a time for a little change.
Yeah.
It was something me and my family we were talking about. My wife is we have our first son, and she's pregnant with our second one, and she's from Michigan, so hence the Great Lakes moves.
Yeah.
And no, it was a good move for us as a family, and obviously the Dodger organization from day one. As soon as I, made agreements with them to come aboard, it was evident it was the right decision.
So how did you get hooked up with the Dodgers? What got you just that ball started?
I spoke with Chase Aldridge, one of our directors, and then spoke with Chubb, then spoke with Will. It kind of was a really quick domino. And yeah, like it was a very quick process. I mean, once we were kind of talking a little bit, it was just very evident it was going to be a good fit. And we were just literally talking ball for hours, right? So it was a great conversation we had, and it was a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely. So Whataburger Field there in Corpus Christi, the Hooks. So I got to know what's your Whataburger Field there. Whataburgers everywhere. You can probably smell the closest Whataburger to you. What's the go-to Whataburger then?
Oh, Whataburger. I actually enjoy Whataburger a little bit. There's a little bit of contention. But no, Whataburger is good. I usually kind of just get a double with cheese. I think Corpus Christi is the only affiliate in the minor leagues that can have a corporate sponsorship because they changed the rules.
Okay.
And that's why they have that the yellow cone jersey. But
Yeah.
no, it was a good time over there. Very, very hot,
Yeah.
very muggy. A little different beginning of the season with Great Lakes when it was so freezing.
Yeah. Hey, do you remember when a big lefty you might not remember his name, but his name was John Rooney for the AA Tulsa Drillers, when he picked off Jose Altuve there at Whataburger Field about 3/4 of the way through? I think it was 2024. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Because I got plenty of calls because they asked me if I sent him or anything. I put 0 signs, I put nothing, and I think he was just not really paying attention. All of a sudden, next thing you know, he was picked off.
I put that on my Instagram story.
That funny you say that, because that pitching staff from Tulsa that year was probably one of the most impressive teams I've ever seen. And it was cool that we had Altuve in the team because Tuve told the guys, like, hey, that's what you're going to see in the big leagues. Like, that's a big league staff, right? And it was cool for the perspective for the guys to see. And it was really fun to see. It was the Sheehan, River Ryan, Mastrini, I believe, was there. It was a really, really fun group to see.
I know that was like a claim to fame for John Rooney. And by the way, Rooney's got to make his major league debut this year, so that was cool for him, the guy that picked off Jose Altuve. Okay, so you're the son of Dickie Thon. Dickie Thon is a name that I grew up with hearing. I mean, as just a great Major League Baseball player. I'm sure you get it a million different times. I don't think you were quite old enough to remember his career, but, just hearing the stories and the osmosis of it, it probably feels like you did.
No, of course. Yeah. Dad retired, I believe it was 94 spring training, and I was born 91. But I grew up in a clubhouse. I was always around, pro ball, whether it be in the States or in Puerto Rico winter ball. So it's always been around. My cousins, my uncles, everybody's been in pro ball. So, yeah, no, it's something I've been around since I've known.
Did your dad ever talk about getting hit in the eye with a baseball? Is that something that he ever mentioned, or did he just like, no, we're not going there?
Oh yeah, no, plenty. Yeah, plenty. I mean, I remember him. The first lesson he told me is like, don't cheat, right? Because he was it was a sinker baller that was kind of going to back corner, and he wanted to cheat away, and he threw him up and in. He didn't have time to like get out of the way, and that was something he taught me since I was little. Just be careful with that. But no, yeah, it was more so not reminiscing on the past of it, and more so like how to overcome it.
Nice.
And it was more so just the resilience of like, handling things. I mean, I have plenty of personal health issues right now that I'm dealing with. That's been very difficult, and I usually
Yeah.
revert back to that most of the time. And it's there's people who have a more difficult situations than I do, and we did. So you just gotta keep grinding.
I didn't put this on the question log, but I think you can handle this one. So you go from Houston to Los Angeles, two of the better analytical organizations in baseball. What differences have you seen between the two? As much detail as you feel comfortable giving.
No, of course. I mean, obviously, two successful orgs. Everybody does things a little differently. I think the biggest thing that stood out with the Dodge organization is the human element and how they treat players, how they treat people. Of course, there's the understanding of performance and production. That goes without saying. But it's also they take care of people, and they want to make sure everybody's in a good frame of mind. The resources, everything is well aligned. Everybody's kind of rowing at the same direction.
Yeah. So how in the world did we end up in Puerto Rico for high school? That had to be cool.
So I'm actually Puerto Rican, right? So
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm just very, very white. So I'm fully bilingual. I speak very, very Puerto Rican Spanish. But I'm the only one in my family that's in the States, right? Everybody else is back home. So when I was little, we would go back and forth for like school or going back to Puerto Rico. We ended up going back to Puerto Rico for good. I ended up moving back to the States after I was done playing in 2017 to kind of get my degree and everything. But yeah, Puerto Rico is home. I live in Dripping Spring, Texas right now. But yeah, no, just very, very white Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So your dad and mom both are Puerto Rican.
Yeah, yeah, both. I think we have like
Wow.
a ton of generations. Dad actually speaks pretty broken English. Mom and dad speak very broken English.
I did not know that. Wow. That honestly is something that I would have never ever known ever if I hadn't found out tonight. That's awesome. So really cool story. How did you know Jose Cruz's son? I know Jose Cruz's son was at Rice. He was playing. They had things absolutely going under Wayne Graham at that time. And he caught you, kind of led you on to, hey, there's a student assistant job here at the University of Houston. You might look into that. So how did all that go down?
No, yeah, so that they're basically family to us. Like,
Okay, nice.
Cheo is just an uncle, and their whole family, they're brothers. Very, very close family ties. And yeah, so I was done playing in 17 and decided to get my degree. And I was at the University of Houston, and he so happened to know the coach Todd Whitting there as well, and told him, hey, like there's this guy, if you want him to hang out with the guys and practice and everything. And I would go every once in a while when I didn't have class and trying to help out. And I was kind of out of baseball, wasn't really thinking about coaching at all. And that bug started to hit a little bit, scratch. And the one of the volunteer assistants ended up leaving, and he's like, hey, do you want to take it? So I talked to my wife, and she's like, hey, ever since you started doing that, you seem so much happier. Like you need to do this. And yeah, no, it kind of all started from there, and there's been too far in right now.
Was Frank still the head coach back then at Houston?
No.
Frank Anderson.
Todd Whitting was the head coach.
Okay.
We had Terry Rooney and Sammy Esposito.
Todd's still there, right?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he came to Stillwater last year and played Oklahoma State. That was they actually got rained out till Sunday. They got to play in the rain. He didn't like the fact that they had to play in the rain. It was a really interesting day. It was pretty cool. So, okay, so you got to coach single A with the Fayetteville Woodpeckers. I absolutely love that name. Then double A with the Corpus Christi Hooks. Manager in both spots. You're on your way up. So I got to ask you, do you have aspirations of like being a manager? Do you like the bench coach position part of it? I know different personalities see that different ways.
No, of course. I mean, the way I look at it, the minor leagues is the minor leagues, right? Any way I can help the organization in any way or fashion, whether it be managing, bench coach, coordinate, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, I wanted to be in this organization, and whatever role that is, it is like I really don't care, right?
Yeah.
I'll help out wherever I can, and no, I mean, managing is fun. Bench coaching was really fun this year. I had a lot of liberties to do a lot of things, which I haven't been able to do much in the past. The staff was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a very, very easy group to work with, and everybody, it was very professional but very easygoing.
Okay, let's get into some of the players. Josue Paula, Zaire Hope, Kendall George. Let's start right there. Talk about those guys. They're awesome.
I mean, where do I start? Right? It's very rare to have that much talent in a team. I mean, at one point we had KG, we had Hopi, we had Depot, we had Sirota. Right? So it's a big luxury and a very good problem to have. And what's fantastic about that group is you don't see many guys who are that talented but have the work ethic, right? That's what makes that kind of separates these guys. Day in day out work. They have a lot of things to work on, but they're in there grinding, right? So they're just not talent alone. So it was very fun to see, and man, they can hit quite a bit. So it was fun to watch.
Have you ever stood directly behind home plate and seen the Vulcan change of Ryan Brown for yourself?
I have seen many changeups, and it's funny you say that because there's some people that just it's coming, and you can't hit it.
Yeah.
Right. It drops so much, and it's just such a weird angle.
It is.
Just slam dunking on guys. Yeah, it's a very, very, very difficult pitch.
Slam dunking on guys is a great way to put it. Alex Makarowicz is good at slam dunking on guys too. There's some execution piece that he still had, which is what the minor leagues is for. He still has to go, but man, I'll tell you what, when Alex Makarowicz is in the strike zone, it is straight up electricity, isn't it?
No, of course. No, Mac is, man, he has one of the most impressive fastballs I've seen in a long time, right? This guy, obviously, when he's in a zone, but the second half of the season, when he started kind of get more confident, kind of let it loose and not trying to be too perfect, it was, man, he can be a quite impressive, I believe, big leaguer very soon.
What'd you see out of Maddox Bruns this year? I know he's a guy that has had really nice spots, super talented.
Maddox was coming back from an injury, trying to navigate all that with his body. And he worked really hard, very meticulous with his work. And obviously the frame, the body, everything is there. Now it's more so being able to execute his pitches and trying to feel comfortable. They did a fantastic job working with him when he came back because he had a little rough start trying to figure out his body and, kind of find that feel again. And, Coiner and Dominguez and all the pitching group, man, they really put a fantastic job with him. And, man, you saw the later end of the season when he was throwing. He was a very, very, very good pitcher, and it's exciting to see.
Peyton Martin had stretches of this year where you're like, okay, yeah, that's the Peyton Martin that we saw the year before. That's the Peyton Martin that got him so high on top prospects list. What were your impressions of him?
Peyton reminds me of kind of like a Roy Oswalt kind of guy, right?
Right.
Smaller frame, but extremely powerful. And
cocky as hell, too, isn't he?
Oh, he's crazy. I love him.
Yeah.
And he, very athletic and, like a typical high school guy that needs to learn his body, kind of go through the seasons, when he's healthy and good to go and takes care of his body, you see the output, right? So he's learning quite a bit, and it's like his horsepower right now is so much more than his body can handle, right? But he's impressive to see.
You ever seen anybody with an arm quite like Ronaldo Yeen? I know he's hit 105. That's confirmed. He's hit 104 multiple times. I didn't see 105 myself. I know it's been confirmed by other people, but have you ever seen just that kind of fastball from anybody else?
I don't think I have, to be quite honest with you. The hardest I ever seen as a player was like 102. And I didn't even see it.
You heard it?
Yeah, you're just swinging to see if you catch it. And then, but no, Yeen, man, he's a monster. Literally, he's such a soft-spoken, sweet kid too. But he's so like imposing. He works very, very hard. The command is obviously something he's been working with really hard. But like the output and all the capabilities to be a impact player is there. He's learning quite a bit, but man, he throws very hard.
He does. Chris John's Osweiler kind of on the other end. He's like a 92, 93, 94. Almost like you would be watching a AAA game. A guy that's just really, really efficient in terms of pounding the strike zone and command on top of control. So talk about Chris John's Osweiler and the great year he had.
That's what it reminds me of, one of those like typical Mexicans that know how to pitch.
Yes.
Right. Those kind of guys. It's just like they grew up. His father obviously threw for a long time, and So he knows, understands how to pitch really well. Now his like, what's impressive with him is, excuse me, he knows how to pitch. He's a pitcher, but then he has the physical capabilities to be a lights out guy, right? So the more he grows up, the more he gets physical. It's going to be quite impressive because the guy, like, the short stint we had with him in Great Lakes, obviously because he had an arm injury for a second, and but it was evident.
Yeah. A guy that dealt with injury last year, but just a gigantic upside, a gigantic ceiling for me. Cameron Decker, I mean, this is a guy that can play left field. He grew up playing shortstop. He can play first base. He can play everywhere. I love this guy's swing. I love the fact that he tries to groove it to right center. I love that he can hit home runs. Tell us what you think about Cameron Decker. I'm very high on him.
Cam has very sneaky, like,
Yeah.
monster juice. Like, because it's like an easy swing, and all of a sudden he catches it clean, and that thing goes very, very far.
Yeah.
I kind of get worried sometimes when I like coach in third, because like he hits the ball that you're like it gets on you pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
But he works well, works really hard. We're trying to add a little bit of third base with him, so he can be a bit more well-rounded. So he can play first, third, and outfield. Very good athlete and great kid.
Talk about third base. Jake Geloff didn't have his best year last year. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but he did have some really nice moments. But I'll tell you what, when Jake Geloff and Joe Vitrano, they were kind of in the same boat. They both didn't have the greatest of years, but when they catch one, it's like, oh my God, the power that those two have.
Well, Jake specifically, I remember one game or one series that we were in Wisconsin that it was just stupid. You know, like everything he was hitting was going, you know, like he single-handedly won that series. And he has clearly from his college career and, you know, his history in the minors that he can hit the ball very well.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's just trying to adjust a little bit to the way they pitch to him. And because we go back again, he has the output. He clearly has very, very strong swing. Now being able to be kind of adjust to the way they pitch to him. And when he does, it goes quite a way.
Yeah.
And, Joe is one of those guys that like he's kind of a linebacker. We were able to kind of sneak in a bunch of stolen bases because this guy can actually run. He's a very, very good athlete. We go back again. He's still learning. I think it's like his first true full season because last year he had a bunch of injuries. So like he was still learning, and that first full season is the one you really, really learn the most about your body, the swing, you know, like try to figure out like how to be productive. And like you said, whenever he's on and he's on that little like streak, it like he's hit some balls that are just like, man, that thing is carrying quite a bit.
He has those magical hands. It feels like he's able to stay back on the ball and just flick those wrists right there at the end and get a lot of impact just by doing that, it seems like.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, especially when he catches that ball in front and be able to catch it clean, like that thing will go.
Logan Wagner's another one. I think there's quite a bit more in the average game to go as he gets more familiar with professional baseball, scouting reports, how to handle all that. But you talk about it. I know he played a lot of second base, probably profiles, maybe at a corner. I don't know. You don't have to go there. But can you talk about Logan Wagner and the upside of him?
Wags is kind of like a smiling assassin.
Yeah.
Like don't fool yourself with like his like charisma and like smile because he's a dog and he plays really hard. Played a lot this year. Yeah, but he could play. I believe he could play second and third. You know, he did really well in both. Made some really good adjustments. Has some really good juice. He's learning how to be a bit more disciplined sometimes and very, very meticulous with his work. Asks very, very good questions.
Yeah.
You know, you can't fool him at all. Like he has to, you know, he knows the game really well, very observant. And no, I mean, he did really well this year.
You talked about Jose Cruz Jr. Of course, we're not saying these players are going to be that guy. It's just kind of the profile maybe of their swing or something in particular they do. Sammy Munoz, he has that kind of Jose Cruz, easy looking, tall, left-handed. Everybody, if you're right-handed, it pisses you off because it looks way too easy for him to barrel the ball. Can you talk about Sammy Munoz?
No, Sammy did a fantastic job with us, man. Like he was working well. I mean, we had a nice little group at the end that they kind of collaborated with each other. With Quintero, Munoz, like those two are good friends, so they kind of feed off each other. And Munoz, man, has that nice little pretty lefty swing. Yes. I mean, those lefty swings when they're like nice and pretty, it's a beautiful thing to see.
It is. And Jordan Thompson may be one of the most underrated players, especially from the shortstop position. You know, we talk about all of the shortstop prospects in the system. Jordan Thompson may be the most underrated.
No, for sure. JT did really, he worked on some stuff. He had a little bit of back issues and kind of that made it difficult for him. But no, he works really hard. Was very diligent. Gamer, absolute gamer. Like there's nothing much for me to ask for him because like he'll play really hard day in day out.
Eduardo Quintero, I love this young man. He's always smiling. He has just such a positive attitude, which in the Dodgers organization works so well, and so incredibly talented. And it really felt like the light bulb started going off for him last year.
For sure. No, and he's actually like one of those kids that like you're like, man, this kid's beyond his years with especially baseball IQ. Like there's a couple of players every once in a while that you just have them on the bases. You don't really worry about them because you already know what they're doing, right? So, but like you see his swing, he plays a beautiful outfield, hell of an arm. The kid, I mean, this year was very, very like impressive to see what he did, and very, very young. So I'm very excited to see what he can do in the winter ball with the older group and see if he can get a couple more at bats there. But no, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He did fantastic this year.
Mike Sirota, when he hits the ball the other way, he loses no impact whatsoever. I think that's probably the most impressive part of it to me for him.
Yeah, he's an absolute psychopath. Like watch him when he's go like on his on deck circle. It looks like a caged animal. It's so funny to see.
Yeah.
But no, he has some thunder hands, man. Like when he hits the ball's very, very like jumps out. Like it goes out there, right? So he's very fun to see. Very, very meticulous with his work. He worked very hard with that. And no, he hit some balls. You're just like, dang, it's just on him, and all of a sudden he gets it off. Right? It's crazy.
Yeah. So Kenny George, got to talk about the 100 stolen bases. He beat, I think he was the fastest to 50 stolen bases, something like that in the history of the Loons. I think he beat D. Gordon to that mark, and so obviously led the Midwest League in stolen bases. It's just amazing. Can you talk about, and then also, he really built his game around his speed this year offensively. So can you talk about him?
Yeah, he just learned how to become himself and try to use his tools really well. What's scary is he was very passive stealing because he was first month or two he was still kind of figuring out his strategies, what to go with, like how to go, trying to get that hesitancy out. But like when he started to learn and trying to get that fear away, it was crazy. And there's some times that I'm coaching third, he's at second, and the pitcher goes home plate, and all of a sudden I see him at third, and like, oh crap, I didn't I didn't see him, right? He's there. So like he got to learn a little bit, and he could have stolen a lot more. As crazy as that sounds, because the first couple months, like he was a little passive, and all of a sudden he just exploded.
Zaire Hope stole, not Zaire, but Josue de Paula stole a whole bunch of bases this year. What was the reason for that, do you think?
It was very interesting. It was like we obviously motivate the guys to be aggressive, but he was very self-motivated to get a ton of bags. He wanted to get, the 20 bags, 20, 30 bags. Excuse me. But you could see him even like during when we have our pregame work to scouting, like he would do his own scouting and kind of do his own reps, and like it was a very big point of emphasis for him. And how big and relaxed this guy is, he's actually sneaky very, very fast.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And especially those long legs. So like he had some good feel, knew it, like, but he studied a lot. And it was a big point of emphasis for him personally.
Yeah. So if I were to ask you the two huge prospects on the prospects list, Hope and de Paula, what makes those two so great?
It's kind of funny. Those two got very close.
Yeah.
Hopey is very, very professional. And I don't say that lightly. Like he works like a lot and like diligent, right? Was one of those guys that you don't see often at such a young age. And it fed off both of them because both of them were kind of competing, but loved each other. And it kind of just fed for them to kind of produce together and to work a lot together. So it was really fun to see. I mean, when you had the trio out there with Hopi, KG, and Depot, like it was nice to have that penciled in the lineup because it's like, all right, we'll be good.
Did you ever give Kendall George the stop sign at third base?
I'm not gonna lie, I barely gave him any signs. they're usually just fake signs because like it was one of those things we would want him to like be aggressive and learn himself and kind of mess up himself so he can learn his limits. So most of the time they were just fake signs. I just let him like be aggressive and choose his spots.
So did you get to call your own game from third base, or did Jair give you the signals?
I mean, Jair would give you the signals. We had a little system going on, and but yeah, like, it's funny sometimes. Teams think they had my signs, and I would just trick them and just feed them, because I grew up in a winter ball, and I'm always paying attention to that. And you could dupe a couple coaching staffs that way.
Absolutely. Hey, Dickie, Joe Thon, is there anything else you want to add as far as the player personnel or the players on that team, or maybe talk about Jair or the coaching staff, or just the Loons and the product they put out there?
No, man, you name it. The staff we had, Jair, like Dominguez, Coiner, DeChance, Braylon, Ezra, like everybody. It was a great group, right? So it's like very, very easy to work with and very professional. Made everybody's life a lot easier. And I mean, the players make us look better, right?
Yeah,
the better coaches than we really are. Like these guys work their ass off, do really well, and I'm very, very happy to be in this organization. It's very evident, obviously, the big league success, but it stems from the top down. And, these people really know how to run an organization. And I want people to know they're in very good hands when people make decisions here.
I've taken a lot of your time here. I really, really appreciate this. This has been a lot of fun getting to know you, getting to talk to you. One last question. You're from Puerto Rico. Your family lives there. You went to college at Houston. Now you're coaching in Michigan. It's snowing right now as we speak in Michigan. So how was that first round of weather where you're like, it's 26 degrees out here. How in the hell am I going to make this for 3.5 hours in this cold?
Yeah, as much as you want to be like a tough guy and everything, it's miserable, right? You try to hide it.
It's not cold out here. Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, like you try not to dwell on it too much, but man, there's some nights you're just like, you try not to get too psyched into it, but you just kind of recognize it's freezing, but you're just like, F it, everybody else is cold too. So it's funny going from the contrast of Corpus last year, which is absolutely crazy hot, to like the first couple months of Michigan. So I've covered a lot of basis on extreme weather.
Then you get into July and it's like 82 degrees, and you're looking at Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and it's 150 for the 100th day in a row. And you're like, we're getting you back now, right? Oh
no, Michigan. Yeah, no, that's one thing. Michigan in the summer was absolutely beautiful. And like you said, the Great Lake Loons do a great job. Like my wife and my kid, we're very, very happy with the way they treated us. Johnny Dukes, shout out to Johnny. He got Midwest League Home Clubby of the Year.
Oh, nice.
Which is a testament of how they take care of us, it's a very, very great, well-run organization.
Absolutely. Dickie, Joe Thon, what a wonderful honor this has been. Hopefully this isn't the last time we talk. Hopefully you make it up to Tulsa and Oklahoma City my way, and we can talk on the field someday. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me, man.